It's Wednesday, and it's BRAP time. We are back, and we got a lot to talk about. Actually. A lot of video game-related stuff. We also have two first-time guests this evening, and we're going to have the rest of the BRAP guys come join us here shortly. I think some of them may be playing the Battlefield beta, which just kicked off today, which we'll talk about. We're going to discuss a little bit of Halo Infinite, this last flight that took place this past weekend. And then we have some rumors of there's a spaces going on right now on Twitter about acquisitions apparently by Sony. So that's probably going to happen, believe it or not, more studio acquisitions. So, and then we're going to discuss Bloodborne 2. Is that like in the works? Did Colin Moriarty tease that? Because he mentioned something that he heard that Blue Point is, I think, taking a stroll down Old Yarnum Street or something. Or I'm probably paraphrasing and totally got that wrong. But anyhow, the rumors of Bloodborne 2 are out there again. But let's go ahead and introduce our guests real quick. We have first-time guests. We got Leviathan Gamer. Leviathan, welcome to BRAP, sir. Great to have you on, man.
Yeah, so technically this is actually my second time. I don't know if you remember the first time was like...
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it
like
is.
7-8 months ago.
I'm so sorry.
It's good.
We had you on with Code.
Time. Yeah, it's been a long time since then.
I remember that. My apologies, sir. Well, welcome back.
Yeah, I gotta roast you first thing, of course.
Yeah, you're gonna have to roast me, man. I'm old, man. I forget stuff, man. I'm just old. You can ask Eric; he'll confirm. And actually, I might, because I'm old and because I'm forgetting things, I might need to speak to this gentleman that we have. I might need to speak to none other than Gamer MD. This guy really is a doctor, by the way. Like, he's an ER doctor. He's pretty smart. Knows what he's talking about, I think. But we got Gamer MD on. What's up, man? Welcome to BRAP.
What's up, guys? Thank you guys so much for hosting and for allowing me to be on your show.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And then we got my man live from sunny Florida making his return. We missed you, man. We got E-Jax in the house. What's up, E?
Chilling, man. How's everybody doing tonight?
We are doing good. I think everyone's doing good, right? I think so.
Yeah, we're doing good. I just got off a shift, actually, and I just ate some really horrible fast food, so I'm 100% ready to rap on top of everybody.
That's funny, man. You also got my man. By the way, E, I'm not gonna lie. I know I was jealous of your banana and peanut butter smoothie, man. Those things are pretty good. I've had them before.
Easy to make, man. You don't have to be jealous.
Nah, dude. Yeah, my wife used to make them, man. They're good.
Get a Nutri-Ninja, and you're good to go.
Yeah, that's right, man. We also got my man, and again, I'll say this again. If you're not listening to this man, if you're not paying attention to when he says things or when he tweets, you need to. We got B Money 101. What's up, B?
Yo, what's up, fellas? Yo, sorry I'm late, but you know what I was doing.
A little Battlefield? I hear you. I was there. I was trying to get you in the game, man, but I know you were busy, man.
Yeah. I'm happy to be here, though. You know, another great Wednesday night, but Battlefield was calling my name, so sorry I'm late, but I'm here.
Nah, no doubt, man.
Damas in the house.
Yes, sir. So we'll get into the conversation of Battlefield beta, Battlefield 2042, which is an early beta right now, and then it opens up for everyone this weekend. So yeah, I'm actually playing it right now on PlayStation 5. Was just playing with Jez 7780, and I was playing with Dark Optimus, running a little squad. So anyhow, let's get into some topics, gentlemen. So there is a rumor going around, and this was started by a tweet by Colin Moriarty of Last Stand Media, or the Sacred Symbols podcast, which I'm a big fan of. He basically, and I'm totally paraphrasing the tweet here, by the way. Actually, before I get to that, I did forget to do one thing this evening. Shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with us. And please hit that like button. See Warrior Work Gaming, that guy Smitty. I see Eric Jackson in there. I'm just kidding. Eric's in there. We see Daniel Wynn, Cryptoxy. So thank you everyone for coming out and hanging out with us. Please, again, hit that like button. and retweet the link that I'm going to drop here in the live chat. Actually, you know what? Before I get to, I know I wanted to talk about Bloodborne, and I know I'm kind of all over the place, but actually, I got the chance to play Alan Wake Remastered. Has anyone played that?
Not the remaster.
So I got to say, like, I wasn't planning on buying this game because my backlog is real. I still got to play B Money and NBA 2K22. But I got to say, like, I'm pretty impressed with this remaster. It looks pretty good. Looks really good, actually, for a game that's like 10 years, 11 years old now? 11 years old, I believe.
It's a beautiful game. I mean, there's a lot of like kind of set piece elements to it. I saw your stream of it that you had on your channel, and I was like, yeah, it does look really, really good.
Yeah. Did you hear me kind of like I got scared, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got a little scared.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, it's, you know what it is? It's the music. Like, the music is so good in that game. That's it's funny. Like, I haven't played that game in over a decade, and going back to it, and seeing Alan Wake, who, by the way, looks kind of like Ted Bundy, which is kind of weird. I don't know why I didn't notice that before. And for all those who don't know who Ted Bundy is, he was a serial killer. But yeah, I mean, the game is just, the voice acting is great. It's well written. The cinematics.
It's a great story. I mean,
yeah.
The story's fantastic. The atmosphere is like seriously good. And then, like just the whole entire mechanic with like the flashlight and all that kind of stuff. And you're like running through the woods being chased by the little whatever ether zombie things. And it's just
shadows,
like, yeah, I mean, that'll definitely cause you to have some sphincter control issues.
Yes, that was me. That was me. I was, and the music's so perfect. I mean, it's great for that game. The atmosphere, just a well done game. And I really, I'm wondering if we'll get like, part of me wonders because, if you've played Control, there's references to Alan Wake in that game. And I wonder if the remaster is maybe just them wanting to put that out there for the fans, or if they're thinking about maybe fleshing out that world and maybe we'll get an Alan Wake 2. What do you guys think?
They're probably testing the waters, to be honest, in terms of like fan response to see if it's going to be a viable game, in terms of, kind of getting a sequel put together. In addition to that, it exposes a new generation of gamers to a game that they never would have come back across unless they had done a remaster. So I think that was done intentionally to gauge public interest, as well as to bring some new people into the fold. And if the numbers add up, then they'll definitely do a sequel.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Leviathan, man, any thoughts on Alan Wake? If you think they might do a sequel to this game?
Yeah, I could definitely. So, obviously, they're trying to build out. Remedy likes building their own kind of like world when they make their games. So I can see them, like, maybe not directly a sequel. Like, I could see them spinning off in, like, how to describe it? Like a partial reboot. That's what I'm thinking of, where it's sort of a sequel, but they can go in a completely different direction because they've like divorced it away from the original game. Like, I could see them doing that. That's kind of in their like MO, because they like to, like, they as a company don't really like doing direct sequels for the most part. So I could see them like going in that direction. And maybe it won't be called like Alan Wake 2, it'd be something else.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Now, I want to go to B and Eric Jackson. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is them testing the waters for maybe a sequel, or kind of what Leviathan described?
Yeah, I think between this remaster and then like the Control All DLC before that, I think they're definitely interested in like revisiting that world. Because they have the rights back to it, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah, Microsoft.
yeah,
Yeah.
so honestly, I kind of think that was pretty much like their hold up. I know Sam Lake like loves like this IP. Like it's like kind of like a near and dear thing to him. So I 100% think that they have plans in store when they may actually get to it. I know they have a lot of things in the hopper, so maybe that is one of the things they have planned. But I definitely think you're going to see an Alan Wake 2 at this point. I don't think any of this is by accident because they made it a big point to tie those worlds together.
That's a great point, E. That's a great point, man.
I kind of agree with Leviathan. I think that it could be like the next game could be something else where it kind of ties like everything together and not really like a direct sequel. But just maybe something within that world, because I could honestly see them trying to loop in Quantum Break, somewhere somehow with the time travel and stuff like that. So like you said, they do try to kind of build like their own universe with their game. So if they did something like that, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. You mentioned Quantum Break, B. I actually really liked Quantum Break a lot. I thought it was a good game. I mean, I didn't think it was their best work per se, but I thought it was actually a decent game. Like the ending of that game left me wanting like a sequel.
Not that boss battle though.
There's
no way that boss battle left you wanting to.
Yeah, that boss battle was a little. What was that? What was it about that boss battle again, Eric? I know we talked about it a lot because I think you had beaten it already and I was just getting there.
It had nothing to do with any of the abilities that you acquired up to that point, and it was pretty much just clack, 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 shoot, 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 done. And then it was, I don't know. It's almost like they kind of got to the end and maybe the budget ran out, or that I don't know what happened, but the end just really didn't, to me, in my opinion, didn't really fit for everything that led up to it.
No, I agree, man. Yeah, it fell a little flat.
Yeah. I think the concept is really good. I just, there was just a couple of things about it. I was just like, yeah, okay. It wasn't like my favorite Remedy game in terms of just the overall execution, but I definitely think the powers were cool. I definitely think there's something there. I think a sequel, I think I would like to see them get a shot at a sequel or do something with that. So, yeah.
Did you guys watch the TV show tie-in thing that they had, where it's like the episodes that tie in directly with the game?
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay. Because I thought that actually added quite a bit, and they put a lot of money into that, and I think that maybe some of their budget expenditure was, put towards the, production of the series in addition to the game. I mean, it was pretty ambitious. Like conceptually, there really hasn't been anybody who's tried anything like that since. And me personally, I think that kind of stuff, it's cool because it's something that's a little bit different than what we're used to, just like a straight up game. I mean, I like to tie into the the TV series, basically, that kind of thing. I mean, if it could be done right, I would definitely like somebody like Remedy to try that, make that attempt again.
Yeah. It's interesting. That TV series I thought was actually pretty well done. That's a great point about the budget. Like, they kind of blow their load, if you will, for lack of a better word, on the with budgeting in the game and the TV series. But I think that also harkens back to a time where I think Microsoft was going to do like TV and like video games, right? Like, weren't they working on some other like I thought they were working like on a Halo TV show or something. I think maybe that's still in the works.
They did didn't they do some kind of like one-off episode, like as a teaser or something like that?
They did something they did something like the Cadets or something.
Yeah,
and
yeah, go ahead.
No, they're cadets, and then like I think the Covenant come, and then like you see Master Chief, he shows up, he's like, Cortana, get out of here, Am I?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I thought that it was actually decent. I mean, I don't think it was like a A+ show, but I mean, if you think about the majority of like sci-fi shows and things like that, most of them, if you're lucky, are a campy B+, right? Like that's the best you're ever gonna get. There's a few notable standouts, but they're exceptional. Like the second Battlestar Galactica that came after the original 1980s one was absolutely off the chain until the very end, and but it was exceptional. But something like that with Master Chief and all that stuff running around. I mean, I would still watch it, but I think most of us that play video games like kind of crappy sci-fi stuff too. I mean, that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. Again, I'm really pleased with the remaster. I think it's well done, and it sounds like just it's got some good buzz behind it. Like I'm seeing people saying they're playing it for the first time, which is really cool. And so we'll see. I got my fingers crossed. I'm a fan of the work that Remedy does. I think they really put out unique content that no one else does. But I'm not gonna lie, it's interesting. I'm playing that game and it made me think of, obviously you see a lot of DNA from that game and bleed into games like Control and even Quantum Break, but it also made me think. I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to see them bring back Max Payne in a remake. Like that game, the first Max Payne, if you guys remember, I thought the story was great, and then what was it called? Bullet Time. And I know,
Yes.
I know, Matrix did it.
Well, it was interesting because that game, the original Max Payne, came out the same time as the original Matrix game, and Max Payne just mopped the floor with them. And I remember because I played it on PC, and it was just insane. Like I was like, wow, it's like because you could dive forward in bullet time shooting, you can jump backwards in bullet time shooting, and it's like the mechanic on it was just so flawless compared to the actual implementation that the Matrix guys did, like night and day difference.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great point. I mean, and the game had, outside the bullet time, had a great story too. Really good story. That dark undertone. Max Payne's going through some things because, he lost his. Can I spoil the game? I mean, at this point.
I mean, it's 20 years old. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, his wife died, kid died. He's dealing with that. He's trying to find the people that murdered them, and so. But no, it was a great game. One of my favorite games, and I'd love to see that game. There's a couple games that I'd like to see come back. Max Payne would be one, and obviously Splinter Cell, which I don't think we'll ever get a Splinter Cell again. But it is.
Why do you think that? Why? What? So okay, hold up. You need to roll that one back. Why do you think that we'll never see another Splinter Cell?
Because the reason Ubisoft just announced Ghost Recon Battle Royale. They are going to service-based games. That's what they're doing. They've even talked about that. Unless they can figure out how to make a battle royale or a games as a service type game around Splinter Cell, I don't see them doing it. That's just me though.
Yeah, but okay. So let me ask this question then. What about if they're not the company that does it? What if they either sell the license or have another company that works under their umbrella do it as an independent? I mean, it's still part of the studio, maybe, or maybe they farm it out to a different studio to do. I mean, theoretically, that's possible because I think that there's so much interest in terms of doing it.
I mean, I don't know. I guess they could, like, if somebody approached them and dropped the bag at the doorstep and said, "Hey, we want to make a Splinter Cell game." Yeah, then maybe it happens, but I don't think anyone's going to do that. I mean, I could be wrong.
Well, I mean, it's part of the Tom Clancy universe, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So whoever has the Tom Clancy deal, I mean, like, obviously, there's probably something going on there in regards to the licensing and, who has access and all that other stuff. There's probably some behind-the-scenes stuff that we're just not privy to that is the reason why we haven't seen another Max Payne game. Another Splinter Cell game.
Splinter Cell, yeah. Yeah, I think the last one didn't sell well. But
I mean, come on, they're reviving games like, Alan Wake and things like that, which, they were, it's a class game, but I don't remember it being like the sales superstar or anything.
It did well, like, after it was released, like, I think a year later or something.
Yeah, it was like a year and a half later, then it ended up doing like 5 million or something like that.
Did it really? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I played it right out the gate, so I don't know what happened after I beat the game, basically.
Yeah.
I say that it could happen, but not until they figure out the UB formula for it.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, like, because you look at it, like I said, they're trying Battle Royale again. They weren't successful at the first time. Now they're injecting the Ghost Recon brand.
I mean, they're clearly interested in Sam Fisher. They put him in everything except for a Splinter Cell game.
Exactly.
So they have love for him. They just don't know how to UB formula it. Like, it's, or I should say they don't know how. I'm sure they're trying to figure out how. So yeah, maybe we will see it again, but it won't be the in my opinion, the single player game that we're used to seeing from a Splinter Cell. You know, because they truly kind of want, it's either going to be some kind of service game or they want it to be like that thing that they can, drop a lot of microtransaction type stuff into, sell like, gear kits and all that different stuff. So
yeah,
That's just disappointing. That just breaks my heart on so many levels. Like
that
that's
breaks my heart too, man.
They'll announce a Splinter Cell game, and Sam Fisher won't be in it.
You think? You think so, B?
That's what's gonna happen.
No Sam Fisher.
Look at what they're doing to all the Tom Clancy games. They own the Tom Clancy license. They've owned it for quite a while. I think they just renewed it like a few years back. But look at what they've done to all the games. None of those games resemble anything of what Tom Clancy is. Like what
That's a
what
great
he's supposed
point.
to represent.
It's a great
Like,
point.
Tom Clancy is based on like tactical military espionage. You know what I mean? So it's like none of those games are based on that at all. They've turned Ghost Recon into an open world game. Like Rainbow Six is like a shell of itself. You know what I mean? Like none of the story based stuff is there anymore. We haven't seen Splinter Cell. Like they killed off Hawks. In War is nowhere to be found. Like the Tom Clancy brand doesn't hold the same weight that it used to because it's not the game that it is. And they're idiots because, you know what I mean, there's no games in that genre right now. You know what I mean? Like if you want like a tactical shooter, you got to get it from a smaller dev. It's made by an indie team, and the game isn't going to be as of high quality as you expect. So it's like everybody else is doing a battle royale. Everybody else is doing, you know what I mean, all these other crazy things. Like why don't you just stick to what Tom Clancy is known for and then just carve out your niche there?
Yeah, that's a great point, B. I mean, you're right. Rainbow Six. I mean, I think when Rainbow Six first came out on the Xbox, that's a game that kind of, I think, took me away from maybe Halo 2. It was, I think, at the time, and I think it was like Rainbow Six Tactical Shooters, what it was called, or something, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember, but yeah, no, it's definitely not the Tom Clancy that or the series isn't what we remember 20-something years ago, like on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. I want to get the super chat real quick. $5 super chat from Andy Hart. Bravo, did you pick up Alan Wake Remaster? Looking good on my Series S. Thank you for that super chat, Andy. Yeah, and and the thing with the Battle Royale with Ghost Recon, I saw that. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I got to see what it's like. I didn't get anything for that trailer, really, other than you can, like, get drops. You got to protect your drops or something.
No, it's like they've got mission objectives, and then when you capture it, then it's like everybody can come and kill you at your, like, while you're trying to upload your data or whatever, which kind of reminds me of the Division. Yeah, exactly.
They can't come up with creative ideas, so they just keep mashing all their games together. That's basically all they're doing right now with the Tom Clancy stuff. And it's pissing me off, man. Like,
I'll be honest, I think like Ubisoft is going through an identity crisis is really what it comes down to. I think that Ubisoft was never a AAA studio, right? Like, I think they were always on the cusp of being a AAA studio, but they never quite, publisher, I should say. They just got to the point where some of their games almost hit, and it's like they could never just muscle it over to the other side. Even the entire Assassin's Creed series, even the original Assassin's Creed. I mean, it was a fun game, but it's like, okay. I mean, there's so many historical inaccuracies in it, and I'm a history buff, and I'm like, bro, it's like, I don't want to hear this crap. And I know people are like, well, it's just like in Hollywood, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I understand that, but I hate those movies too. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, why can't you pay somebody, PhD student at Cornell, to sit down and do the research for you? That guy will take $20,000 and have that shit mapped out, and it will be absolutely immaculate. So it just bugs me that, people don't want to do their due diligence and stuff. It's just lazy.
Yeah. I hear you, man. That's a great point. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how that Battle Royale game turns out. Because, again, this is her second, go at it with Battle Royale. So we'll see.
What do you guys think of Battle Royale, though, in general? Like, I mean, is that a game type that you enjoy?
Not at all. Not for me.
I hate it. I love it.
I love it. I love it. Warzone. I love it. I mean, I don't play it all the time anymore because there's so much other stuff I'm playing. But, yeah, I definitely like it Like I definitely enjoy Warzone, and I definitely enjoyed PUBG when that came out. I have some really great memories with King David on PUBG, believe it or not. But yeah. So like Gaming MD, like I'm actually intrigued by the Ghost Recon, what's it called, Battle Royale. So I see people in the live chat, Daniel Wynn saying Battle Royale is cancer. There's people that don't like it. Feel like it's kind of ruined the shooter genre, if you will.
I
Yeah,
mean, to
that's
each their own.
definitely-
If people like it, hey, that's on you. It's just not my vibe.
Yeah,
Do you,
no
do you
doubt.
think
I
it's a
hear you.
generational difference? Do you think that because I mean, the OGs, I think like it the least. I don't
Did
know.
you
a
say
lot
the
of
OGs?
Yeah.
Are we the OGs, or because those are us?
Well,
that
I consider myself an OG. I don't know. I don't know where you fall in that equation. Do you consider yourself an OG?
I'm in I'm in my 40s.
He absolutely considers himself an OG because he
Yeah, I
reminds
know.
people
He's trying
17
to be
times
all
a day
like,
that he was an
fake
Xbox
humble.
Live beta tester.
Oh, that
Exactly.
reminds
He's trying to be
me.
all
I
fake
was an
humble.
Xbox Live beta tester. What did you say, Gaber?
That's his.
I said you're being fake humble. Of course you're an OG. Shut up. But I mean, the whole entire point is, it's like, for me personally, like when we started first playing FPS games, it was stuff like Unreal Tournament and Quake and all that kind of stuff, and it was a 1v 6 or 8 or whatever it was, and whoever came out on top was king, right? And then you had all your stuff like Halo and stuff. Personally, Halo, from a multiplayer standpoint, was just never my thing. The campaign was always my thing with Halo, but like then Gears dropped. And I'm gonna take just 2 seconds of time just to talk about this, man. That original Gears of War, God bless America. I poured thousands of hours into that game, thousands.
Oh my god!
And it was
Me
I
too.
love that 4v4 squad. I mean, because
Yes.
it was just personal enough, like, and you had that team concept.
Yeah, you
But
had
it's
to be
like,
tactical,
all of
man.
a sudden, 2-3 of your guys are down, you're it, and it's a 1v4, and then you come out on top, bro. Tell me that is not the best feeling on the planet.
It is when you get that
Best
shoddy.
adrenaline rush.
Yeah, the shoddy, the torque bow. God, man, are you kidding me? That torque
Takes
bow,
people
it's like
out
all
with
of
the
a
boom
sudden.
shot.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Boom.
And I just love the fact that you could, do a dome shot with the torque bow, and every once in a while on a rare blue moon, you could actually headshot somebody with the boom shot. And I was like,
Yeah.
bro, this is like insane. Like, I mean, because it's like literally across the map, and all of a sudden, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I just like was doing cartwheels in my, living room. It's like, this is insane.
Somebody tells me you were doing car. Yeah, exactly. Got you, bitch.
Yeah, that's
No,
right. Oh man.
No, hey B, it's
Oh, yeah,
funny, man.
I
You mentioned
felt
that
the
adrenaline
same-
rush, man. That's a
same
great
way,
point,
man.
man. Yeah,
Same exact way.
yeah.
But see, the thing is, if you go back and you look at okay, there's 120 of us fighting. Okay, all right, and it's like, unless you're a tryhard, I mean, at this point, unless you could put 10 hours a day into gaming, walking into something like that, bro, you're gonna get your lunch handed to you the second you get onto the field. I mean, there's you have no opportunity for a learning curve. I mean, you're literally bulldozed right out the gates.
Yeah, no, that's true, man. God, this brings back memories.
We need to get some of the old school Xbox
Yeah.
360 Gears of War and put that mess together and live stream it, because people don't know what we're talking about, and all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, this is a legit deal.
It was like what you described, like when you're down, and if you were the only person and you had your shoddy. I remember it was always a shoddy, and you took out the rest of the team by yourself. Like that was like the biggest like adrenaline rush, and I would remember the oh shit, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
It was
you knew
addictive
how
as
to
hell.
wall bounce, those sticky situations, man,
Yep.
that could save your life. Every
Well, the
time.
interesting thing was that you didn't really have a wall bounce in Gears 1, the original, right? Like, that kind of came later in the series as they tweaked the mechanics on movement. And that's one of the reasons why I like the original Gears so much, because it was a lot. I think that it allowed you to. I thought it was a little bit more tactical, because you had to be more careful about where you slid into cover and things like that, because you couldn't wall bounce. Now, people look like a ping pong ball just going through things, which I think kind of. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can do it, but it doesn't feel quite right to me.
Yeah, I hear you, man. Let's get to the Bloodborne 2 thing real quick. And actually, let me get the super chat from Andy Hart. He says, I met you, BRAP. Sorry, too much Jägermeister. Did you get Alan Wake remake? Yes, I did. Too much Jägermeister. Jeez. Easy there, Andy. It's only Wednesday. Just be careful, sir.
You don't want to
Go
be
home,
coming to
man.
see me.
Yeah, you don't want to see Doc.
Yeah.
By the way, all right. So there's rumors out there about I almost said Battleborn for some reason. Bloodborne 2, and if you've been listening to BRAP for I don't know the last couple of years, about a year ago we actually discussed this very topic. That in fact there was something Bloodborne related happening, where there was a remake or something was happening with the series. But Colin Moriarty actually he tweeted that this week, that the rumor is Blue Point is could be working on something Bloodborne related. And I think I don't know if it was UB Money on the show that said that maybe Blue Point working on Demon Souls was kind of a test or something. I heard that somewhere. I feel like that was maybe from you, maybe not. But my quick take on this is if it is Bloodborne 2, one, I would be super excited. But there's a part of me that thinks, well, wait a minute. Is Miyazaki not going to be part of this? Because if he's not, that might be a little concerning for me. You know? What do you guys think? I'll open it up to Leviathan Gamer. I don't know if you're a Soulsborne fan. But what are your thoughts on this, man?
Yeah, so I'm not particularly a fan of the franchise too much. I've played a few of them, but yeah, I know the whole like development history of Bloodborne and the Soulsborne games. So I could see them doing Bloodborne 2. Like it makes sense from what Blue Point has done before and the types of games that they've remastered and remade before. They're primed to be able to make a new game like that. So a popular tactic a lot of developers have used in the past is they will have a studio do a remake of an old game to try to like repivot or like figure out why like these old games were popular in the first place. So like say if a franchise was highly successful, like Game of the Year contenders, and then it falls off, they'll make the studio go back and remake an old game in the franchise to figure out how to get back on track. Kind of like Crash Bandicoot 4 and like the remake / remaster that happened there. Those kind of things are very useful, and Blue Point is primed to do that kind of thing. So I could definitely see them doing Bloodborne 2. Just because of the situation and the fact that Bloodborne's also Sony's IP.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. You think it's more likely a sequel than it is like a remake per se, right? Because I think the game is what 6 years old now. So maybe
there's not enough of a gap to like remake.
Yeah.
I could see maybe them like remaster, throw on some ray tracing, but that's not really much of a project because Blue Point has been expanding. They used to just do remasters where they take an old game and just upgrade the textures, maybe change the lighting, but they moved on to remakes where they fully build new assets just based off of an old game. So I think they're ready to take it to the next level and actually build a new game themselves based off of an existing IP. It just makes the most sense.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point, Leviathan. Gamer MD, Doc, I'm not sure if you're a Soulsborne fan. If you're not, you should be.
No,
What are
for
your
sure.
thoughts, man?
Okay, so I even have the board game, bro. Come on. So
I like you, man.
No, I mean legit, and the board game is fun as hell. So if you guys don't have it, absolutely hit up Amazon and pick it up because they will have a game sale before the end of the year.
Wait, are you?
for sure.
Is this a Bloodborne?
Yeah,
game board?
Bloodborne
Okay.
like, yeah, it's got like little miniatures and everything, and
Really?
it's good. Like it's really good.
I wonder if my
And
wife
it's cool
will play
because you
that.
could be like up in the cabin, you know, like camping or something, and like
You
you know,
said up
you're
in
like,
the
oh, I'm gonna unplug. It's like, but I'm still playing Bloodborne. But here's my take on the whole entire situation. So Blue Point has basically they've admitted that they're working on at least two projects currently.
Yes, 2 projects. That's
I
right.
think that they are either doing a remaster of the original, and they're also potentially working on the sequel. And I think that right now they're doing foundational groundwork for a sequel, but I think that they are very close to finishing the remaster. And when that gets released, and after people have had a chance to get into it, that's probably sometime down the line they'll announce Bloodborne 2. If you look at the time frame, if they had Demon Souls remake ready to ship day one with the PS5, right? So we're 2 years, 1 year out from launch, and then we've got E3 coming up. So sometime in the summertime is probably when they're going to make the announcement, is what I would guess, at a Sony showcase or something like that. And then once you've gone through sales and stuff, because Sony's really good about timing out their announcements and games. So it'll be a game and then an announcement, then a game and an announcement. So it's constantly keeping you on the hook. And I feel like that's what they're going to be doing with Blue Point for the next 4 to 5 years.
Interesting, man. That's a great point, man. Let me grab the super chat real quick, gentlemen. Give me just a sec here. T-Rock, there we go. T-Rock 40 with the $2 super chat says Bloodborne is S tier. Slow-mo backslap. Get ready. Slow-mo is not a Souls fan. And then Andy Hart, the $5 super chat says it's vacation week. LOL. Epic killed it with the original Gears trilogy. Still to this day, original Gears on 360 is my favorite. I agree with that 110%, sir. Thank you for that super chat. I'm going to go to E. Jackson and B Money. What do you guys think? Is this Bloodborne 2? Does it need to have Miyazaki?
I don't think it needs to have him. But I think it definitely could be Bloodborne 2. I think we'll probably see a reveal of it sooner than later. I wouldn't be surprised if it happened sometime in December.
Okay, wait, B. Hold on. Time out, B Money. Just
what are you talking about,
in case no one's paying attention. You said you wouldn't be surprised if they show it soon, and then you said you wouldn't be surprised if it was December, as in this December.
Hey man, some December coming up.
You see what he did there? Pay attention, people. Go ahead, B. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that it is possible that it could be Bloodborne 2. When they made their announcement after they were officially purchased by PlayStation, they did say that they were working on an IP. They didn't say it was a brand new IP or anything like that. So it makes you wonder what exactly that means. And in this case, it could be a new entry into IP that we already know. They just came off of working on Demon Souls. They really, spruced that game up. It definitely is one of the best looking games on PlayStation 5. And if you look at their comments, after the purchase, they did say that the next game is supposed to define, what the next generation is supposed to look like. So I think that's what we'll see pretty soon. And if it is Bloodborne 2, then I would not be surprised.
In December. I'm going to remember that, B. December. All right, E, what are your thoughts, man?
No, I'm kind of lined up with B on this. Because when they signed with Sony, or when it was officially announced, and they did say, that their next game would be a new game. Like B said, they never said new IP. So Bloodborne 2 would be a new game, right? And Sony's they're not dumb. I mean, they hear fans clamoring for, having Bloodborne at 60 frames and having the remaster, for that at least. They've heard for years, people wanting a Bloodborne 2. So kind of like B said, I don't necessarily think they need Miyazaki to make it. He could consult on it. They can ask him. I don't think he particularly wants to make it, with other work that he's doing. But probably doesn't have a problem with another team doing it. And who could do it? Them. I mean, they like B said, they just cut their teeth, on Demon Souls. So that's a good place to start with understanding the formulas of these things. And yeah, I think they're completely capable. And it's a good opportunity for them to branch out of not doing just a remake or a remaster. That's another stepping stone before maybe they go to introducing a new IP. So that's possible.
Yeah, and apparently there's also a rumor, guys, that From Software and Sony have another game in development that's exclusive to PlayStation, apparently. And if that's true, then I would imagine that Miyazaki's probably involved in that project and probably wouldn't, like you said, he wouldn't want to do, a Bloodborne 2. And actually,
he's probably an executive producer on multiple games over at
Yeah.
From. I mean, he's kind of like the Miyamoto of Nintendo. I mean, his hands may not be directly in every single game, but he knows exactly what's going on with all the
Right.
different franchises and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah. Yeah, gentlemen, I'm running a poll right now. And everyone in the live chat, there's a poll right now. Does Bloodborne 2 need Miyazaki? So please vote. Let us know what you guys think. There's 11 votes right now. And so far, people are saying no. Miyazaki's not needed. Which I think
Well,
is
you know,
probably...
he probably had a roadmap after the first one for like, hey, these are ideas I have for the second one, and he may just have given it over to them, and then he can act as an executive producer where they come back and they say, hey, we did this, and this. What do you think? And he'll be like, yeah, okay, that's cool. Nah, I would do it this way. You know, that's the level of involvement I think he's going to have with that project, because they're going to have his name stamped on it just to be able to have, you know, credibility. I mean, it's like, you know, if you had a Mario game without Miyamoto's name on there, would it be a Mario game? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that's a great point. And T-Rock 40 in the live chat says, good point. Miyazaki as a consultant is a very good possibility. I think that's, I think that's a great point. But I'm just, look, anything Bloodborne, if it's a Bloodborne remaster, hell, even if it's a patch for me, like because, you know, we all want that 4K, more importantly, we want that 60 FPS patch.
Yes.
You know, Dark Souls 3 has, I can't even talk. Dark Souls 3 has it. Dark Souls remake has it, or remaster, I should say. And Sekiro has it too. And, you know, a lot of fans at the very least have been asking for Bloodborne to get a 60 FPS patch. I would even take the 60 FPS patch, because to me that would be golden. Leviathan, let me ask you something, because you have some knowledge in development per se. Would that be easy for them to do a 60 FPS patch for Bloodborne?
Yeah, so the hard part isn't the patch itself. It's the whole, like, agreement that they'd have to get. That's probably why Bloodborne hasn't even gotten a 60 FPS patch yet, is because they have to get it from software, and I believe they need to also get the original creator to also sign off on any patch they do to Bloodborne. Like, it's caught up in licensing and legal issues, and not necessarily the actual work. Because who was, like, I think Lance McDonald maybe was experimenting with getting 60 FPS working on Bloodborne. Like, he built a mod for it where he could get it to run at 60 FPS. So I don't think it's too much work from that end, at least.
Gotcha. So it's more of a licensing thing, like you said then, right?
Yeah, they can't officially push a patch.
Gotcha. Well, you know, fingers crossed. I hope it happens. And so far the poll is saying no, 64% to 36% that said yes, that Bloodborne 2 needs Miyazaki. So go to end the poll. The people have spoken. Want to grab a super chat real quick from Z Black Rider, Canadian $5 super chat. Says, F Sony, did Microsoft get Itagaki? Who? You mean Itagaki? Anyhow. All right. Thank you for that super chat. All right. Want to get to Halo Infinite, because this game came the second, I can't even talk. The second flight happened this past weekend. They introduced Big Team Battle, and I think, as I said last week, like, I think that this is probably 343i's best multiplayer that they've put out for Halo. They took, and I know Leviathan, you were in the spaces with me about this. I think they took kind of what was they basically improved what I think Bungie had done with the first 3 Halos in terms of multiplayer. Now, for me, as I mentioned this before, you know, I'm not overly excited for Halo. That's just me. I kind of have a little bit of Halo fatigue, but I did like what I saw there in terms of the character animations and the gunplay and how fast it seemingly was, and you know, level designs, map designs were pretty good, and it was that classic Halo, you know, that you know, spraying, getting the shield down, try to get some headshots, tossing grenades, things like that. Not a big fan of CTF. I got put in CTF matches a couple times. I'm like, this is killing me. Just give me Slayer and I'm happy. But I thought it was a good flight. Like I think honestly, this game could release like today. I think it's ready to go now. Like I didn't see any major problems with the game per se. Like I didn't have any frame rate issues or anything that I noticed. But it's cool to see some of the excitement with the community again, especially the diehard Halo community. I think they're happy with what 343i's done. I know they were kind of outspoken about Halo 5 and the direction of the Halo 5 multiplayer. Although for me, as I look back at that now, as I've had time to digest more of the flight, I do have an appreciation for what they were trying to do, trying to push the franchise forward. But I want to go to you, the Levi thing, and then because I know you are pretty hardcore Halo multiplayer fan, if I'm not mistaken. And I know you had some great points on the spaces we had earlier the week. But tell us a little bit more about your experience with this past weekend's flight, what you liked about it, and maybe areas of improvement.
Yeah, so for me personally, I'm not really a big team battle kind of guy. I've never really been, and I don't like the jump because I don't like high player counts in my FPS games. I like keeping it like up to 10 players in a match and less. So the big team battle part didn't vibe nearly as well with me as usually for Halo, and that's just because of the player count. There was too many players, for me at least, personally. And then for gameplay wise, I actually really enjoy what they've done with the gameplay. It's they listen to my feedback basically of what I told them to go, like the direction that I said this is where they should go for Halo Infinite. They're directly doing that based off of, like, a lot of us push what was called Halo Reach MLG V7 settings. Basically, it was a version of Reach that reworked a lot of Reach's gameplay, because Halo Reach was very hated in the competitive side of the Halo community because of all the changes Bungie made in that game. And 343 had MLG settings that was a lot more like classic Halo in terms of gameplay, but it was only one competitive game mode. So like my suggestion was to go with that. So how that game mode works is, instead of giving abilities to players on spawn, you pick them up off the map. So like you'd pick up sprint off the map, you'd pick up jetpack off the map, or evade, which that's now you pick up grapple hook off the map, you pick up the thruster pack from Halo 5 off the map. So they've done a lot of what I've asked. They even did things that were like pipe dreams for me, like adjusting strafe acceleration. This is like one of the most like obscure variables in FPS game design that nobody knows about. But it was like one of my main critiques of the Halo franchise, is I wanted an increase in that value, which they did. And then another area that I wanted them to deal with is decreasing bullet magnetism and aim assist on controller, which I think they went a little too far, because like it's Halo 1's values they're using now, which can be challenging for a lot of people because they're used to having aim assist on controller, and there's barely any anymore, at least in Halo Infinite.
I actually like that, by the way, that they don't have that. That's dialed back. I actually do like that a lot.
Yeah, because it makes it more rewarding. That's partially why Halo 1's my favorite Halo multiplayer, because it rewards you for actually hitting your shots, and it allows more outplay potential because it's harder to hit your shots. So you can reverse a 1v2 situation and win, which you can now do that in Halo Infinite. And I've been really enjoying that part of the combat loop. But so the big thing is they maybe should tweak the aiming just a little bit. Like I don't want them to go back to previous Halo game aim assist values because I'm not a fan of most FPS games for aim assist. So, but I was seeing a lot of people complaining about the time to kill being way too long in the game.
That was me. that was
Yeah,
me.
but you're running around in power armor with a shield. I mean, you've got it's
It's
by
the second-
design.
It's the second shortest time to kill in the Halo franchise. All the other games have longer time to kills. It's so much harder to hit your shots. Like, you can kill someone in like a second in Halo Infinite. I was seeing some of the more hardcore players complaining how quick you die in the game, that they need to increase the time to kill.
I got dropped constantly. I mean, it was like ridiculous because it's like once you got out of like kind of the training mode and you started doing the PvP, and all of a sudden the guy who's got, again, 12 hours a day of Halo for the last 10 years, and it's like all of a sudden you're like running through and you're like, hey, look at the pretty boom. And it's just like, bro, it's like, I only got shot once. How did you kill me? I mean, full shields, the whole entire thing. And I'm like, that you didn't, and I know he didn't have the sniper rifle. So I was like, how did you kill me? And so I think the time to kill is definitely, I mean, I got murked. I got absolutely murked. And I was just kind of like, whatever. And I mean, here, from my perspective, here's my situation. I never liked Halo multiplayer. It always felt like I was running through mud because I was comparing it against, Unreal Tournament and, real first-person shooters.
Quake.
And so, I mean, I cannot, it always feels too slow to me. I like the Twitch, kind of quick action and stuff. And whatever. It's like, again, Halo's always been the single player for me. But I do have a question for you, Leviathan. Have you been playing it on PC at all, or have you only been playing it on the Series X or S, or what have you been playing it on?
So my PC is not compatible with the flight, so I'm playing it on the Xbox One Raw, the original VCR.
Wow.
Oh,
And I'm
my
playing
goodness.
against Onyx players, and I even got one like YouTube streamer of like 5 million subscribers to rage quit. So like trust me, like it's sweaty in my lobbies. I don't know where like a lot of like the people's talking about grenades and melee are heavily used. I'm dealing with heavy like gunfire spam. There's hard map control. People are like abusing the mobility mechanics in my matches, but that's because they use heavy skill-based matchmaking. So I'm matching all these people playing on PC at like 120 FPS. Half of them are on mouse and keyboard, and I'm on controller at 30 FPS, unstable 30 FPS on the Xbox
my
One.
God.
Yes, it's definitely been like that's
So
been
are
the
you like
hardest
one of
part.
Are you one of those Halo gods? Like, is that an accurate assessment of your skill level?
I
in
think
that game?
he is. I think he is. Gamer MD.
I think so too.
I'm good enough to get into pro lobbies and then get shit on by people that are like Halo World Champions. So like I'm good enough that the system will say, "Oh, these guys are close enough in skill," and then I'll get shit on and go like 2-20 against people that have like 20 tournament wins in Halo. So like that's where my skill is. So like a lot of the people that have been complaining about this game, completely different experience to me because I'm going up against completely different people.
Well, that's fantastic. You need to like hook us up when you're actually playing. I would love to watch that.
Yeah.
So I've actually been thinking about doing a public like Xbox Live account because like I have my personal like friends and family.
Sure.
And mine, so like I was thinking about doing a public Xbox Live account, and the first thing I wanted to do with it is to try to like bait someone into a 1v1. Because like I've not publicly shown my skills, so it's just like my talk, right? So like I wanted to bait someone to think, oh, he's a fraud, to try to
So
1v1.
you want to do the game version of Punked, basically.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd be all over that. BRAP, come on, man. We got to help this guy out. We got to get this done.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm down for that. Yeah,
Yes.
let me know, Leviathan. Let's go. Let's do it, man.
Yeah, so I want to get a Series X probably before that. Like I was thinking about upgrading my PC, but the PC market's overpriced as fuck right now.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm just going to go with the Series X. Plus, I still play on controller. I prefer controller to mouse and keyboard. So It's not like the end of the world if I'm on a Series X. It's a very good and powerful machine.
I've heard
I mean,
it's as
it plays-
powerful as a
it plays
2080 Ti,
Halo.
Leviathan. Can you comment on that?
Ooh.
It's not as powerful as a 2080 Ti.
That's what I hear all the time.
Yeah, it's closer to a 2080, and then once you throw on ray tracing, it's more around like a 2060 Super. Just because NVIDIA has a better architectural design for the ray tracing.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So yeah, man. It sounds like, dude, we gotta meet up, man. Because I mean, I would like to play Halo with someone at your skill level per se, you know, and just observe as you wreck people. So, Doc,
Yes,
give me your
sir.
thoughts, man. Give me your thoughts.
So, I mean, I only because of okay. So, to full disclosure, I work almost every weekend. I work every Saturday and Sunday. So you'll notice that during the week, you'll see me pop up, and it's like, how is this guy like working and able to get onto so many spaces? And it's because I work like every Saturday and Sunday, and I have not been able to catch every single fight, but I did catch the one before this one, and I mean, it feels like Halo. I don't know how else to explain it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it felt like a classic Halo game to me, just with updated graphics. I had some problems with audio and things like that. It felt kind of like the audio was off. I don't know how to explain that. And I mean, I've got a 7.2 surround sound system and everything else. So it's like, I know it's not on the hardware side of, the audio decoding or something like that. And so, there was some nitpicky things about those types of things. I think that, overall, it's well done in terms of being a first-person shooter in the Halo universe. I personally am more concerned and enticed by the campaign, and I find it very strange that they've been this radio silent about kind of giving us information about that, because normally it's like, you get a little bit of mix of both, but it seems like they are very heavily focused on multiplayer only. And so that does bring me concern about the co-op campaign and just the single player campaign. And quite frankly, the fact that there's not going to be a co-op campaign.
We lose Doc? Doc, you there? I think we lost him.
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, we hear you now. We lost you there for a sec.
Oh, I don't know what happened. My audio's cutting in and out, and I'm on like gigabit right now, so I'm not really sure what the story is.
Yeah. No, no worries, man. Go ahead and
But just to wrap up, I mean,
yeah.
me personally, the multiplayer fights are fine. I'm not a Halo multiplayer guy, so for me, it's kind of like I just jumped in just to see what it looked like and what it played like, and it felt like a regular Halo game to me, just with updated graphics. And then the only thing that I'm really kind of concerned about is the fact that we don't have co-op on campaign, because that's how I'm used to playing Halo, and that's what I like to do, because me and my brother would always sit down and we'd be like, every new Halo game, let's sit down, get it to legendary difficulty and knock out the co-op, campaign. And I'm disappointed that they didn't do that. And if it was up to me, I would have delayed the game until E3 of next year and launched it on E3, day one of the press conference.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I'm gonna go to you didn't play you weren't in the beta, I don't think, right?
Yeah, I played the beta both weekends. I didn't play like a ton of it, but I was in there for a few matches.
Gotcha.
Like
Doc,
I'm me, I'm not the biggest multiplayer person. So like Doc, I'm focused on campaign. And I know it's a touchy subject, for people when you bring up being concerned about the campaign. They're like, well, they said that they're going to get into it. They're doing the polish and they're doing this and that. I always kind of fall under the idea that when you have something baller to show, you can't wait to show it. That's just me. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm hoping I'm wrong. But the fact that, I know the focus is definitely going to be multiplayer because they're going free to play. They got to make sure all of that works. You can't be dead in the water when that hits. And that is a huge focus for people. But I want to know what this campaign is hitting on, because outside of Game Pass, you still have people that are going to buy this campaign. They're going to they're going to actually go out and buy a copy of it. So what are they getting for their $60? Because it used to be a total package, but it's not a total package anymore because the multiplayer portion of Halo is now free to play. So what are people going to be getting for that? And I think there's a time to talk about it. And maybe they will soon, and maybe, you know, they'll put our, you know, concerns to bed. But, you know, like Doc said, the silence it's a bit deafening.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, you know, I've gotten a lot of heat for saying that, you know, this campaign's coming in hot, you know, and I've had people say, oh, well, you know, just give them time, okay, how much time? And, you know, obviously there's always development troubles. The famous thing I always get, the whataboutism, is always, well, The Last of Us 2 had development problems. It's like, yeah, but what does that have to do with the issues at Halo with 343i and, you know, Staten coming back to try to help with the game? And yeah, I mean, that's like I'm not as eager for the multiplayer as I am the campaign, for sure. Like, I'm with you there, man. You know,
Well, the people are telling you that if people are telling you that, like in the whataboutism, say, yeah, every game there is development hell, and they say in usually, you know, you're working on the game up until the day it ships, and it kind of comes together like last minute. That's what I've always heard, right? So in the whataboutism game, if people want to throw I see people that kind of go to The Last of Us 2 because that's like the big deal, you know, kind of like on the Sony side. You know, they don't tend to throw God of War or anything like that out there, or Spider-Man or anything like that. They tend to go to the Naughty Dog thing because of the crunch talk and everything else. But at the end of the day, however you feel about that game, when they talked about it, they didn't have a problem really talking about it and showing it. And then when it hit, the game overall was fine. You know, it might have had some glitches and some things that they had to patch and bug, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand like gamers when it's like this hollowed ground when it comes to the consumer side of gaming. It's like maybe we hold it so sacred. It's like they're beyond reproach, but the people are always like, you know, get off their back, give them time. You know, this stuff is hard. And I'm like, there's plenty of industries where things are hard that you don't make excuses for. You know, people who make cars, they work hard. But if you pick your car up and it has no tires, you're not going to be down with that. You know, but for some reason with gaming, people are like, it's this sacred thing that you can't touch, and you have to touch it with kid gloves, and you have to, you know, and it's like, I get it. And look, you know, yeah, game development is tough, but it's still a consumer product, and you should still, you know, be there when things don't look right. And I'm sorry, again, last year when they first showed the campaign portion of Halo Infinite, it didn't look good. So yeah. I mean, the fact that they're not showing it now, I'm like, a year later, that's still not good. That's still that's not a good place to be right now. And
no, it's not.
When they showed that, you had the cappers out there like, I don't know what you were looking at. It looked like Halo to me. It looked dope to me. And then not until Microsoft themselves delayed it. Oh yeah, that's a good move. That's the right move. That's the thing that they need to do. And I'm like, you assholes. It's like, so. I mean, people saying like, you're not a real Halo fan if you looked at that and didn't like it. I'm like, no, I'm a real Halo fan for looking at that and saying that ain't it, Chief.
No pun intended.
How dare you show, like, how you're willing to show that to us? So, and they were willing to ship that. Yep. Is the funny part.
I mean, to echo that.
Hello, gentlemen.
How's it going?
Slow-mo. Oh, let me give you a proper introduction here, Slow-mo.
Sure.
We got my man.
Give you a proper outro, but he'll give you a proper introduction.
Wow. That was one time. One time. Let me introduce a man who probably doesn't need an introduction, who, when I was playing, speaking of Halo Infinite, I was playing Halo Infinite with him on, I forget what was it. It wasn't CTF. What were we playing? I always forget.
Big Team Battle.
But we were playing Territories.
Strongholds.
Thank you. Strongholds. We're playing Strongholds, and my man Slow-mo Backslap is at C, and we're all at B, and he's like, they're coming. We get there, and there's like 4 people there around him. He kills everyone.
My! Yeah.
And let me tell you something.
Be exaggerating.
No, this is true. You know how like in Halo when you get a double kill, you get double kill. Well, Slow-mo cleared all these guys out, and he got "Don't quit your day job." That's what he got. That's what I heard from the guy who does the Halo voice, and I'm like, Jesus, Slow-mo is a beast.
Okay. So what really happened was, I was at C, and I saw that they were coming to try to take C, and we were all in the group chat in Discord together. I said, hey, I'm gonna need backup at C, and just so happened I dropped 3 of them, and I don't know where the 4th one went. And when Enrique and I think Erica showed up, I was like, "No, we're good. We're good. We're still holding it." It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't. It was like Enrique's like, "Wow, you took them all on by yourself. You killed half their squad." I'm like, "Wait, hold on." It wasn't like that. It wasn't 6 guys over here. It was 3 dudes who came at me one at a time like a bunch of dummies. They should have. They really should have killed me. But like, I like. All
No,
right, look.
they saw slow-mo. They saw the slow-mo. They're like, whoa, you know what that is? That's slow-mo backslap.
Oh, stop it.
They're like, who's first? Who's going in first?
Yeah.
They zig when they should have
you're doing
zagged,
too
right,
much.
Slow-mo?
Huh?
Exactly.
They zig when they should have zagged.
Oh yeah. It was like, I mean, like I you know how like you get down to like very few rounds left in your magazine, you switch to your sidearm. Like it was like the 3rd guy, I don't know what the heck he was doing. Like he was throwing grenades and like it ricocheting off of like every wall, but nowhere near me. It was
He's
just
throwing
like,
them over you.
It was a comedy of errors. I got a triple
Yeah.
kill, but it wasn't a big deal. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I didn't want to completely derail you guys' conversation. To what Eric was talking about, how the narrative flipped from there's nothing wrong with Halo. If you love Halo, then you didn't see anything wrong with that. To yeah, that's the right decision. It reminded me of Coming to America.
What?
Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. In the beginning, when Eddie Murphy's bride is like, whatever you like, he just like bark like a dog, and she just starts barking, hop on one foot, and it's just like, oh, I don't like pizza. Okay, I don't like pizza either. No, what? I like pizza. We all like pizza now. It's
Right.
just like, yeah, what you're gonna think whatever decision that they make, unless it's something super egregious like doubling the price of Xbox Live, is a great decision. And it's just like that's how fanboys roll. They always tend to. It doesn't matter what the argument is. What side is my favorite platform side? That's the side I'm taking.
Right. Right.
And
exactly.
even if it makes me look like a hypocrite, because 2 weeks ago I was complaining about that same thing for the other side.
Well,
And it's not even like, I can't even say it's just Xbox guys that do it, because it's literally every single platform that does it. Every single one of them, every single fanboy for each platform does that crap, and it's so obvious. It's silly. My bad.
no,
MD,
you're good. You're good. I mean, it was just basically the fact that people like that are not objective, right? Like they want to cap for whatever, and they feel like it's a part of their identity, and they're being challenged in their identity. And I'm like, bro, just shut the hell up. It's like, that's not even how this works. It's like, you can be objective, and you can sit there and hold these, manufacturers and these publishers and these developers accountable for the crap they put out. I mean, honestly, tell me it wouldn't be a better move to have a total game for Halo Infinite where you've got the co-op ironed out for the campaign, you've got Forge, you've got the multiplayer, and you've got revamped awesome graphics, and have that release in June of 2022. To me personally, that's a no-brainer. And the fact that Microsoft's not willing to do that, I mean, I'm like, bro, it's like, you guys just crush on the pandemic. Everybody else does, and legitimately so. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like, bro, it's like, we understand you're $1 trillion company, but if Phil Spencer's sitting around half the time in his boxer shorts in front of the computer, I mean, so is the rest of all the studios that Microsoft owns, and for that matter, every other developer out there. I mean, it's like, bro, just say, look, because of the pandemic, we want to make sure you have a AAA experience. We're delaying it again. This is the date and time we're going to put it on, and boom, all of a sudden blow our socks off. That's what you should be doing, not this, well, we're going to piecemeal it out. I'm like, bro, don't piecemeal nothing. If it wasn't on Game Pass, I wouldn't buy the game. I'll put it to you that way.
That's great. Well said, Doc. I mean, I don't disagree with you there. And by the way, I have a poll right now going on the live chat. We've got about 100 people watching. We only have 13 votes, so please get your vote in. The poll is the Halo campaign in trouble? So far, 54% of the respondents are saying yes, 46% are saying no. But Doc, I agree with everything you said. You as well, E and Slow-Mo. Slow-Mo, I'll get to you in a sec. I want to go to B Money. be able to get your thoughts on the Halo flight test that happened this past weekend, man.
I didn't get a chance to play a lot for the weekend just because my kids' football and stuff like that. But the time that I did play, it was a good time. It felt like Halo did this last week. You know what I mean? I just enjoy Halo, for its multiplayer. It's something different. Been waiting on it for a while, so it's one of those games where you can kind of play it tactically. I prefer to play Slayer. I prefer that 4v4 action. Just because you have to control the map. It's a little easier to control the map. It's a little easier to control some of the power weapons and things like that. So once you're playing with a good group of friends and you got that communication going, you can really have a good time with it. So it was pretty enjoyable, but Battlefield's here now, so
It's a wrap.
put that thing to the side and it's over with for me.
Happy for you.
Yo,
So
B,
that-
you should have been in the Discord with us, man. We were, that one
Yeah,
match we had. Go ahead.
I saw Erica's link like later on, like after we were off, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, I ended up joining it too late, but I definitely wish I was in there because I know you guys were talking crazy.
Oh man, it was Alex. Alex is out of control, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I know he was, man.
Yes.
Alex
As soon as I hopped in there and I saw that Alex was in there, I was like, oh man, I know Alex is out here
Extra
talking crazy.
sucks is all I can say. It was every other comment out of his mouth. But we had this one strongholds match where we just absolutely dominated the other
Yeah, we
team.
did.
Because I think it was the first match where we
'Cause you
where
were
we
there,
got the
Slow-Mo.
money in.
Yeah,
We were just talking.
No,
we were
you
just
because you
talking
were there,
before
Slow.
about
That's
it.
why we dominated, man. You're the Halo
Oh,
guy.
Stop it! You
Triple
don't start calling me
kill.
that because people are gonna start thinking I'm really a Halo guy and I'm not.
I'm just saying, man.
No, yo, we got a 3-0 skunk on the other team in 4 minutes. Like I looked at the time,
we
it said
did.
4 minutes,
It
4
did 4
seconds.
minutes. We
I mean,
dominated.
it was a massacre.
It was a
yo.
massacre. It was bad. Yeah.
I was like, man, I couldn't kill people fast enough. I'm trying to find somebody to kill. B Money.
Yeah.
I looked at the score. I killed like 2 people. Look at the score. B Money then killed 7 already. I'm like, Dad, how do you find 7 people? I'm like, where are they at?
We were playing Team Slayer. Speaking of B Money, I don't know if you remember this. We couldn't talk at the time, but when you were playing with Erica and me and Slow-Mo, you and I were actually in the. It's not like a cave, but it's like the where the overshield spawns. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
And there was guys coming in. They were chasing you. I think I had a shotty, and guys just kept funneling in and B Money. Do you remember that? What happened there?
Yep.
We kept taking them out.
Yeah, man. They were not allowed in there.
No, they weren't. They weren't. They look at me. They run in, look at me. B would get them. They run and look at B. I would get them. It was pretty bad. But yeah, Slow-Mo. I mean, Slow-Mo's not exaggerating. That match was like 4 or 5 minutes tops, and it was like 3-0. We were.
Oh no,
done.
it was 4 minutes 4 seconds. Like when we were done with the match, I was like, yo, that was like the fastest match I've ever been in. Everybody was like, yeah,
it was.
How long was that? And then I looked because I'm looking at the stats, and when they show you like when you get back to like the main menu screen, they show you in the top right corner like the like last results of the last match, the score, what kind of match it was. The time was there, and it said 4 minutes 4 seconds, and I was like, bruh, how do we destroy these guys? That kind of massacre would have made me like just quit.
Yeah.
And uninstall Halo Infinite. I ain't playing this.
I'm surprised we didn't get nasty. I'm surprised we didn't get nasty messages.
Yeah, you guys.
You will. Just give it time.
Yeah, right.
Aimbots. You guys got aimbots.
Yeah, you cheating. Mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard.
Right. It was crazy, but it was a good time. And see, like that's I think the mark of a really good multiplayer game is that you want to play it even when you don't have friends available to play it. Like
I can't
almost
do no Halo
anything.
stuff.
Almost anything that you can play with friends can be fun, even if it's a bad game. You can laugh at the bugginess and just the jankiness of it. Like I remember our homie Luca, and all day we're laughing at all the bugs, and then we're playing State of Decay 2 together. Like all day, jumped into her world, and he got like spawned into the wall. And so he's like half in a wall, and she's like half in the floor, and they're just laughing because it's not a good like experience, but it's funny. But like when you have a good multiplayer game, it's being able to play the game even when you're solo and still having a good time. Even when you're not playing the game anymore, you think about playing it. That's how I feel about Halo Infinite. And honestly, even today, that's how I was feeling about Battlefield 2042 after playing it earlier today. So
We'll talk
I
about
think
that
both
here in
of
a
those games, yeah. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but yeah. I think those are going to be really good multiplayer experiences.
Yeah, that's a great point, man. I want to get some super chats here, gentlemen. We got Borbor Country. What's up, Borbor? He says it's that with the $2 super chat. It's a very interesting name. It's that time, Brap. I always appreciate Borbor's super chats. They're very interesting. Andy Hart with the $5 super chat, who's on holiday, by the way. He's clearly enjoying himself. Said, would love the panel's thoughts on the Series S, nearly 1 year on. To me, it's locked. 60. God, the Series X dropped more frames. I don't know what he. Okay.
Did it? Basically, just saying like the Series S was performing better than the Series X. Is that true?
I'll throw that over to Leviathan. Leviathan, can you answer that, or any insight on that?
What was the exact question that they were asking again?
Hold on a sec here. Let me go back and read it. He's like, he wants to know the panel's thoughts on the Series X. Locked 60 frames per second. Hold on. I'm not. Okay, hold on a sec here. Would love the panel's thoughts on the Series S, nearly 1 year on. To me, it's locked 60. God, the Series X dropped more frames. I think what he's saying is that the Series X is dropping more frames than the Series S.
That's because they're trying to push a higher resolution at a higher frame rate, so it's gonna drop more.
Yeah, would you agree with that, Leviathan? That Series X is pushing more resolution. That's why.
Yeah, there's been a lot of games where that's been the issue. Like I even like modeled roughly like the performance load based off of roughly, but because like you can actually like reverse engineer game engines to figure out roughly how much performance they take, and like I found consistently the Series X was pushing higher resolution than it should be just based off of how powerful it is. Like I was looking at that. A good chunk of games did that, and like I would make suggestions of just drop the resolution down to like the PlayStation 5 levels.
You would get better and more consistent performance if they did the exact same like if they did the lower resolution levels. Leviathan, put your 2 cents in on this, right? Like me personally, like almost I have not upgraded to 4K TVs, right? So I'm playing on a 1080p TV because I invested a lot of money in the Panasonic plasmas, like the ZT like series, and the Studio Master panels, right? Like that's what I have been gaming on, and it plays amazingly well. And of course, if you sit back 12 feet, I mean, you've got a Retina display regardless of whether it's 4K or not. So in my mind's eye, I would love to have the option on both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X to do a 1080p 120 hertz ray tracing enabled, and like let that be my gaming default. Because if I did that, I think God bless, I think that those systems would just be singing if you put them into that scenario. Because I think that that's really a good place for them in terms of their power envelope, their thermals, everything else, and you'd be able to just pretty much kill every game out there. So I wanted your 2 cents on that.
Yeah, so it'd be hard to be able to do ray tracing in every game. It'd be like game per game specific, but delivering 120 FPS in like every single game is perfectly viable for the Series X and PS5. Because they have the CPU grunt, so they're not going to be CPU bottleneck there. It just comes down to how low the settings / resolution is. So around 1080p should be pretty good in most cases. And yeah, I would love a setting like that as well, because a more competitive gamer, so like 120
Yes.
FPS.
Because like back in the day on the PC, like that was our thing. It's like you would drop resolution so that you would have more frames so that you could just dome people. It's like, I mean, yeah, their head's a little bit more pixelated, but yeah, it's because I just put a bullet through their eyes, you know?
Yeah, so I'm not. I really don't like 30 FPS, and I'm also not really too much a fan of 60 FPS either. Like, just because for me, I can definitely see like the choppiness of 60 FPS very well. So I prefer 120 in every game that I play, but
Which is where do you find 120 in every game, Leviathan? What platform does that?
you have to go PC pretty much.
Yeah, PC.
Love it. By the way, I'm going to end the Halo poll here. Is the Halo campaign in trouble? 65% of respondents, 66 of respondents in our chat said yes. 34% said no.
Can I ask a quick question?
Go ahead, Doc.
So what is everybody on the panel's opinion about the limited edition Halo Xbox Series X and the Elite controller?
I think it looks cool. I'm not getting it, but it looks cool.
Because I'm like a total sucker for like all the collectible stuff. So I mean, I was lucky enough to be able to pre-order one of each, and I was just kind of like, just for the collection. Literally, if you walked into my man cave, you'd be like, "You live in GameStop." I mean, it's like literally boxes to the ceiling with merch. It's insane.
You're part of the problem there, Doc.
100%. I'm like a cancer when it comes to that stuff.
Jeez, man. Yeah, you're part of the problem. I'm gonna get another.
I thought both of them looked really good. But not. I'm not like a collector of consoles. Like there's some people that just like yourself, MD, where you said, you see a special edition console looks cool, you pick it up, even though you may already have a Series X. I'm like, I mean, it looks nice.
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man! Like the Death Stranding PS4 Pro, bro, that was one of the sweetest consoles.
And probably the best thing about Death Stranding was a special edition console. I mean, let me not go through slandering that game. I can't help it. It just slips out sometimes. I apologize.
Doodle bombs.
Yeah, the Doodle Bomb Simulator.
Doodle Brown.
But like, I almost got that the Halo series Elite controller, but I looked at it because I've never had Elite controller, and then now I was like, you know what, I'm kind of in the market of getting one. I was thinking about getting one, and then I started thinking about it. I'm like, because I think it was B who said it, that like he had this you had the special Elite controller. Maybe
yeah, I had the Gears Elite controller.
Right, and you said it like because like the Elite controllers, they're great, but they have a high defect rate, like where they don't really react to the wear and tear.
The control is definitely not there.
Yeah, the Series 1 of the Elite controllers was the dials that you would use to be able to do the short triggers.
Mm-hmm.
If you did them wrong, all of a sudden they got jacked up, and you couldn't rotate them out anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the Series 2 fixed that problem, but they had problems like with the B button and stuff like that. So if you ever get one, play it. If you don't like it, put it back, and return it to like Amazon or Walmart or whatever. But honestly, don't buy one right now. And the reason being is I have a feeling that
I'm gonna drop a series of Elite 3.
Yes, Elite 3 is coming, and I guarantee you the everything that's on the DualSense will be on that Elite 3.
Yeah, probably. But see, what happened with B was he said that he had a warranty on it. He tried to return it, and they had to give him a refund because they didn't have another special edition, Elite to give back to him. So it's just like, if I'm spending all that money only for there to be a chance that I gotta send it back only to get a refund and then buy a regular old Elite, I'm just gonna buy a regular old Elite. Like, I'm just not even for my like special controllers and stuff. Like I don't even play them. I got a Design Labs controller with my slow mo backslap colors and everything on it, and a nice little tagline to it. I've never played the thing. It just sits on my little controller stand and just looks cool.
That's
Like
cool.
I don't play them. So I was like, if I'm not gonna play it, I'll buy like every now and then I'll buy something like that just for that. But like if I was going to really play the Elite controller, I'm like, I'm just gonna get a regular one and not even worry about it.
That's fair.
Yeah. Let me get the super chat by Borbor Country. He said, "Did this guy just say drop to PS5 levels? Huh?" Okay, thank you for that super chat, Borbor.
I think he was talking about. What was he talking about?
Talking about dropping the
saying
resolution to get
drop the
higher
resolution. Okay,
frames, to get higher frames. I'll take higher frames any day. I think we all would, right?
Yeah, I would rather have higher frames.
Resolution is so overrated, and as
Yes.
PC gamers, like we know it's super overrated.
We
like
do know.
All the other graphical settings that you have to worry about that really make a game pop, and resolution is like, I mean, it's good, but it's not like, it's actually the most expensive thing that can determine how well your game performs, and it's just not worth it. Like there are people out here that have monitors that are 1080p, but they are 240 hertz, and
Yeah,
the
or 300
purpose.
hertz.
Yeah, now 300 hertz because they want the higher frame rate. They don't care about the resolution. Pump it up to ultra settings, 1080p, and give me all those frames.
That's exactly the point that I was trying to make with, if we had a 1080p, 120 frames per second with ray tracing and all that stuff, I would much prefer that. And then in addition, it's like, why don't they just go ahead and allow us to have, sliders for all that stuff in our games and let us just customize it ourselves?
So part of that is consumer convenience. They don't want to make it too complicated. But I'm of the opinion that they should just have like an advanced option where you can access that. So like,
Yes.
there's the base presets that are easy for the non-tech literate people to just play with. But then the advanced option is where you can really play around with that stuff.
I mean, they even do that on PC now, where you'll look at the presets. Like, I don't know what like you have some PC gamers that just like, I don't know what any of this crap means. What is the ultra preset? High, medium, low. I'm just gonna hit the preset. It does it all for you. Shoot, like Enrique, I think you were talking before about how GeForce Experience, the program that you can use to like download your drivers for NVIDIA GPUs. You can put a setting in there. I don't do it because I kind of feel like it gives me the worst settings ever.
The optimization,
it can optimize your games for you. So it's just like you don't even have to touch anything. People just had no idea how easy PC can be sometimes. But
they actually, I think the NVIDIA's done a really good job with that, streamlining that function where it's literally like you load up the game and it shows you the optimized settings versus what you have or what default is. And you could just hit, optimize, and it just does it for you. But I agree with you, Slomo. Sometimes it doesn't always work the best per se because, like, Cyberpunk's a perfect example of that for me. Like, I definitely tweaked with that game. That's the one game I think I actually really, really tweaked my settings a lot. And I didn't use NVIDIA settings because it didn't perform as well as what I did just tinkering around with the settings and.
It would always mess up my resolution. It would always give me some wonky resolution that I didn't want. It'd be like, what resolution is this? 1636 by what? Like, and then I load the game and it's like, but I got to do a dual monitor setup. The game is like stretched across like I don't know what it was thinking. Like if I had 4 monitors when I only got 2, and I'm just trying to like find my way to settings so I can fix this crap, and it's just like, nah, fam. GeForce Experiences, I appreciate the thought and the sentiment, but hell no, I'm never going to allow them to try that again. I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. Let's get to the Battlefront. What am I talking about? Battlefield 2042 beta. The early beta just came out today, and have had an opportunity to play a little bit of it. I was playing earlier this morning, and then actually before the show went live, I was actually playing with oh, that's an interesting take. Z Black Rider says Res is no different than FPS. Your brain needs training for that. Okay.
What?
Very
I don't
interesting.
know what you mean by that.
That's why I read that. Very interesting take. I don't.
I can kind of comment on this.
Go ahead,
So
Leviathan.
for me, because I know exactly how like 3D graphics renders, because I had to do that in college as like one of the side like paths for my major, which I was computer engineering. So because I had that side path, I had to really learn how 3D graphics are rendered. So for me, I can see the issues and pixel artifacts all the way up until like 8K resolution for me. Like 4K is not high enough. And I can also see the issues with ray tracing. So ray tracing is not powerful enough of a solution. So for me, nothing can look particularly photorealistic because I've been trained specifically to notice that, along with high frame rates. So like, nothing's going to look photorealistic for me for at least another 20 years. And that's okay. Like, that's just a me issue because of my experiences. Most people will be perfectly fine with lower frame rates or lower resolution. And I prefer frame rates over resolution just from a competitive standpoint as a gamer. So I can kind of see what he's talking about.
So do you think he's talking about like training your eyes to see? Because he said your brains, which I think is, I don't know if that's what he really meant, but I can understand like training your eyes to see certain things because like you'll have console gamers that like 2 years ago that was like, there's nothing wrong with 30 frames per second. It's okay.
Wrong.
30 frames is fine.
Wrong.
Right. And then
30 frames
and
is
then they got
abysmal.
60 on nearly every game in this current generation of consoles. And if there was a 30 FPS option, they're just like, what? What is this peasantry? 30 frames per? I would never. Like it's
30
completely changed, and it's all about like experiencing it. I remember the first time I played the game at 120 frames per second, and I was just like,
I was floored when I saw that. Yeah.
I'm never going back. I'm like, I don't want to go back. Like I agree with I think it was Leviathan that said it about 60. 60 isn't good enough. 60 is the minimum. I'm fine with 60 on consoles, but on PC. Nah, fam.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't want to play a game. I don't
Yeah, I
want
mean,
to play
if you're busting out that 3090 RTX, I mean, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that thing better be singing, and it's like you want to be above 120 frames. I mean, you know, some of these games you can get up to like, I mean, I've seen, depending on how you have your resolution and, you know, anti-aliasing and all that stuff set out, all of a sudden you're 200 plus frames per second. Bro, it's like that's a whole other experience. And it's like people get so mad about mouse and keyboard, and I'm like, it's not just mouse and keyboard. It's mouse and keyboard plus the monitor and the resolution and frame rate that they're playing at. And all of a sudden
it's proven.
Like,
it's been tested.
100%. It's like, how is this kid owning me? And I'm like,
point.
because he's got a better setup.
Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. Linus Tech Tips, like, you know, for all of the foolishness that guy gets into sometimes.
It's running hot.
When he and his team,
Just hit left, Slow-mo.
when he and his team like get together and do tests, those are like the best videos that Linus has. And Linus did a video about like is
Heat
FPS
dissipation?
really important, and he brought in Shroud, who's like, you know, real popular shooter streamer on Twitch, and Shroud going up against just a bunch of other guys. Like some were content creators, some were like tech YouTubers. They're nowhere near his level, clearly. But they had Shroud play on a monitor that was 60 hertz. Gave the other guys monitors that were 240. They were keeping up with him.
Yeah.
Like he was still beating them because he's better, but it wasn't by much. And
it wasn't a shutout.
Yeah, it wasn't a shutout. And when they had the same hertz monitors, he beat them by a significant margin. But when he had the 240 hertz monitor and they had the 60, it was like it wasn't even close. It was a massacre, and it's just it really showed that like having a monitor that can display all the frames like that, and of course a rig that can actually push it, is really, really important.
Yeah. And speaking of rigs, by the way, oh no, it's Alex just tweeted out, delay the game again. He's referring to Battlefield 2042. I guess he's played it on PC. And like I said, I played. Actually, let me get this super chat from Gaming Forte. Where are you, Forte? We miss you, sir. Hope everything's okay, man. With the $2 super chat, says PC is the worst platform in existence. # problems.
He's trolling.
I'm gonna refund him. I'm gonna refund him his super chat. So
The only time PC is the worst platform is when you don't know how to customize and optimize your own PC settings. And that's because you just don't have enough knowledge or understanding about how those different settings and everything work. And you don't have you look at your hardware and you think, well, I've got like a 2080 Ti, and it's like you're trying to do something with that. And then you have to know what the limitations of that hardware is to be able to hit that sweet spot. Right? It's just like tuning a car. You got to know the RPM ranges, and you got to know what the air fuel mixture is and all that stuff. Not everybody can tune a car. It's the same exact thing with the PC. Not everybody can tune a game to play right on their setup.
That's a great point, man. I mean, you were absolutely right. I mean, it's I think Alex even said it too. He's like, if you're getting 60, he said this in his video regarding Halo Infinite, some of the issues. He's like, yeah, because I see some people saying, like, if I'm paraphrasing here, if they think they're getting 60 FPS, they're doing okay. He's like, there's more to it than just that. But you know, the Halo Infinite, the Battlefield 2042 beta, I played a little bit. To me, it's Battlefield, which if you're a Battlefield fan, you're gonna like it.
Hey, Enrique, I don't mean to cut you off. I didn't get a chance to talk about Halo Infinite yet.
Oh, I thought you did, man. No?
Well, I mean, like you in the intro, you talked about that one time.
Oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Well, I just I did a video on it on my channel a few days ago on my thoughts, but I thought that I think the multiplayer is the best that 343's done. I think it's going to have some legs in regards to when it comes out fully. The multiplayer, I'm not talking about the campaign, but the multiplayer will resonate with some people who haven't played Halo in a long time, or people who are brand new to it. But you're also going to get the people, and based upon the time to kill, where that's a subjective opinion on whether you like that or not. Like I was streaming Battlefield earlier today, and there were people in my chat that were like, after playing Halo, this really fast time to kill. When I was like, well, I would kill somebody and he's out in like 2 seconds or less. They were like, that guy didn't get an opportunity to fight back. They don't like that. They like to see reversals. They like to see, some of these people are saying they like to see the ability to be able to reverse being attacked if you didn't see the person coming up on you. Being able to kill a camper if he shoots you first. And I get that. That's clearly subjective. But for me personally, I really, really enjoyed what I played. Had a great time. I did some arena. I did a lot of big team battle. And in the off periods where the matchmaking wasn't online, I actually was in the training mode fighting against the Spartan bots, which if you wanna learn the game, the Spartan bots will help you. They actually increased whatever they were doing with the AI with the Spartan bots from the first flight to the second. The Spartan bots in the first flight were still food, just like the rest of the bots. And the ones in this current flight will get some kills on you. And so I think they're good to train off of. I think they got a nice foundation with the way the gunplay feels and the weapons. I do think there's a weird balance with vehicles, though. I don't know if they need to do some tweaking there. For example, I had the skewer. No, the rocket launcher, okay? So you shoot the rocket launcher at a ghost, and it used to just blow it up. Now it doesn't. I had multiple people told me they had an issue where they would shoot the ghost dead on with the rocket launcher and it wouldn't destroy it. But if I shoot the skewer at a rocket, at anything, like if I hit somebody with the skewer, that thing is breaking apart, shattering in pieces. Everybody in the vehicle is dead. But maybe not the scorpion tank. I haven't shot that at a scorpion tank yet, but it's just kind of a weird balance there that I think they need to work on. There's some people that think the pistol needs a buff. I think the pistol's fine where it is right now. I think it's probably the best pistol they've had since
Halo 1.
Combat Evolved Halo 1's pistol. And I think that was OP, even though I loved it. So I think if you buff it, you're just gonna have a lot of people running around with pistols and ignoring the other weapons. So I think it's fine where it is. But I mean, those are my thoughts. I hope they do another one before the game launches, just so I can be able to see some other maps in Big Team Battle because I only had one map there. But I think this is a game that, like as I was saying before about multiplayer games, it's really good to you, and it really works for you and resonates with you when you can see yourself playing it even without friends. And that's how I feel about Halo Infinite. So
Can I paraphrase Slow-Mo real quick? There's a technical term for everything he just said. Get good.
That's true. Get good. Yeah. No, those are great points, Slow-Mo. I actually agree with you. The pistol, I think it's the best pistol since the first Halo. So let me grab the super chat from Z Black Rider, $5 super chat. Says your brain doesn't upscale, downscaling is jarring. And then he says, then Z Black Rider, another $5 super chat says, 2-day car, you're younger than my last baby.
Huh?
So Z Black Rider is having a stroke, and
I think he's drunk. I don't know what's going on, man.
Is that the dude that was drinking all the Jägermeister?
No, that's not him. That's someone else. But thank you for the super chat, Z Black Rider. So Slow-Mo, man. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure you got any other thoughts on Halo. Is that or?
Oh no, that's it. That's all I want to say.
I do.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I'm going to ask Slow-Mo a question.
What's up, Forte?
What up, though? I'm still at work, stuck here.
Okay, go ahead, man. Shoot.
That
Go ahead.
sucks.
Oh no, Far Cry tonight. Somebody decided to walk in the store and trade in their livelihood at 8:45.
Their livelihood. What is this?
Hey man, it was like a $900 trade. They traded in their livelihood. I was like, "Yo, what do you do?" He said, "Just put it on a card." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I, you know me, not wanting to leave a whole bunch of mess for my people tomorrow because I'm not here, so I'm here still doing it. But what I want to ask you, someone like you said something about people complaining about TTK and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And how they wish like they go play a game like Battlefield and they turn a corner and you could just be dead, versus in Halo, turn a corner, you got a chance to kind of survive still.
Right.
I hate when people it's nothing. I mean, I understand when people say stuff like that, and I kind of want to understand what your thoughts on that is, because you play a lot of different shooters, a lot of different play styles and stuff like that. Because for me, I feel like a person that's complaining about the TTK and it's more of a situation that I feel like you can anybody that sees you first, you should die. If they don't kill you. If they don't kill you, that means they're bad. They were bad at that.
But that's like the bell curve, though. Like everyone knows the bell curve, right? Like the shape of the bell curve. At the ends, you got your elite players on one end. You got your absolute. Why are you even here? Do you know where the controller is? Players on the other end, and then you got everybody in the middle. So it's like you're gonna have your moments where, in Halo, where someone will shoot you first. You turn on them, you cap them. Yeah, they definitely, absolutely should have killed you, right? But they didn't. You were able to, through your superior movement, once you recovered after you got hit, landed enough headshots instead of them landing enough headshots on you to take them out. I think that's I think you kind of find that in every game, except it happens far more often in Halo because the time to kill is higher because you got that shield that needs to get knocked off first. But as I said before, if you land enough headshots, screw a shield.
3 shots.
Bye. You're out of here. If you land nothing but headshots on the dude, shield does not matter.
Yep.
So it's like it's really all about aiming and aiming accurately in Halo versus like some other games where you could go body shots and knock a dude out if you land every single one of them. Even when I was playing earlier in Battlefield 2042, even though the majority of my deaths came from campers and vehicles, there were a few times where I'm trading back and forth with people, and sometimes I won, sometimes I lost. Like, or I'm looking for, like, I'm fighting a guy. I missed like maybe a few shots. He hid in cover. I'm looking for him, and then he turned out he was under like some staircase and shot me from there. Like I lost track of him. Or like I'm hunting somebody down. That was actually this one part. I was in a tunnel, and like 3 guys came at me. I killed 2 of them. No, 4. It was 4 guys. I killed 2 of them, and I just waited in the tunnel at the end, like aiming down sight at the entrance, waiting for them to come after me. And they were just like, "Nah, forget that, we out," and they just pieced out. But it's just like you have those situations where people will fire on you in other games that's not Halo, and you can still survive. It's just that with Halo, there's like a higher chance of flipping it. And I think there are people who are so used to Call of Duty that they play Halo and they just can't make the adjustment, which is fine because you like what you like. I like Splitgate. You know, I love playing Splitgate. Splitgate's not Halo or Call of Duty or Battlefield. Everyone's going to have their shooter that they resonates with them the most. And it's nothing wrong if you feel a certain way about it. Me personally, I enjoyed the hell out of playing Halo this past weekend. I still think I'll play Splitgate more though.
Yeah.
Do you think Splitgate, like, can you feel Splitgate being similar to Halo though?
Oh yeah. It's but like one, the founder of the company is a massive Halo fan. That's one. 2, they patterned a lot of what they did off of Halo. They hired former 343 level designers to work on at 1047 Games. That's the developer that makes Splitgate. A lot of their modes are basically lifted from Halo, old school Halo. The feel, the movement, the fact that they didn't want to add slide in the game because they said they rather wanted people to use movement to fight against other in a gunfight than using slide and things like that. So like I've listened to a lot of what they said about they are adding mantling. They should have been had that. But like the way that they designed that game, and you look at the design of the maps itself, the design of the maps, that like the perfect symmetry of having each side of a map be kind of like mirrors of one another, so there is no imbalances. That was a lot of like design for Halo. Yeah, there's a lot of similarities to it. But that said, you got the faster movement, you got sprint, you got the portals, you got not getting knocked out of ADS when you aim down sight, and Splitgate is just way different. It's like it's similar to Halo, but only in the foundation. It plays very different now.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, it's Unreal Engine is the engine backing behind it, so it has a lot more in common with Unreal Tournament.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be surprised. So for more competitive players, you can really tell the difference between what game engine you're playing on. So, like, I feel more Unreal Tournament, less Halo for me personally, but that's because I can tell. Because, for example, you can strafe mid-air in Splitgate, which you can't do in Halo or Destiny. It was never a thing in either of those games because that Blam Engine core doesn't allow you to do that. But Unreal allows you to do that. So like there's little gameplay differences like that. For me, it's not nearly as good as Halo, not even close, but it's like the closest anybody has gotten to touching Halo for me in almost 15 years. If that makes sense.
What? So just Leviathan, real quick on I mean, were you an Unreal Tournament player at all?
Yeah, I played Unreal Tournament. So I'm a bit younger. I'm in my mid-20s, so I really grew up at like the death of Unreal, Quake, Doom, like when all these games were dying and Halo was still thriving. It's basically So I'm a fan of all of them, but Halo's
But
the only
Halo's
one
the
that's
jam.
still alive.
Yeah,
still.
yeah, yeah.
All the other ones are pretty dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, they tried to bring back Unreal Tournament a couple of different times, and it never sunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
They swear the dev team is going to return to it after they're done with their little Fortnite stint that they were just going to work on for a couple months, like that Battle Royale thing that's going to die within a few months. Then they'll go back to Unreal Tournament 4. They
That
swear.
that's actually a really good question. Do you think that, like, when it comes down to it, the Battle Royale thing is going to end up just petering out, or do you think that it'll continue to evolve and exist? Because I personally can't stand Battle Royale, but I know a lot of people love it. And so I don't hate on it that way. I just let people do whatever they want to do. But do you think as an industry, it moves forward that's the future, or do you think that we're going to move on to some other form of play?
I don't see Battle Royale dying just because it's filling a gap in shooters, targeting more casual gamers. Because of the difference in mechanics, it's easier for a less skilled player that doesn't have as much time to just jump in quickly and play a few games. They don't necessarily have to run into gunfights. They can basically camp around. It's just so much more accessible to a wider audience compared to your typical traditional FPS game. So I don't see Battle Royale going away, even if I'm not really a fan of them at all.
So to follow up on that, do you think that there'll be a greater schism developing between kind of the hardcore FPS games and, Battle Royale type FPS games?
Yeah, that's kind of already been happening.
Yeah, I mean, there's only really one good battle royale first-person shooter, and that's Apex Legends. Everything else is like what was that Ubisoft trash they made? Hyperscape.
Yeah,
and that died pretty quickly. And
Did it even make it off the runway?
Say what?
Did it even make it off the runway?
Oh no, they came out of beta.
Oh,
just no one noticed. it came out.
So for me personally, Hyperscape was the best battle royale that has come out. It's just
really,
yeah, it just sucked in terms of like controller play. Like I don't know if you played it on controller.
I did.
Its aim assist wasn't balanced right, so it make it really hard, especially because like it has like Unreal Tournament and Quake roots in terms of a battle royale. It just they didn't have the balance right out the gate, and if controller players can't really enjoy the experience for the most part, you're not going to have a sustainable game in the long run. It's going to go same reason why games like Quake and Unreal are dead now, because controller players like you can't really balance it well for controller,
right?
Without like making a compromise somewhere.
I'll tell you real quick what happened with me at Hyperscape. And I know Enrique wants to move on, but like I played it, I downloaded it. Of course it's free. I played like maybe 2 matches. I'm shooting at people. And I'm just like, yo, what am I shooting? Am I shooting bubble gum at them? I don't understand why no one's dying. Like, I just like, I'm hitting people dead on, and it's just like no damage is done. And I'm like, where are these weapons? I don't understand. This was like literally probably like when it first came out. They may have rebalanced it differently to try to deal with that. But my feedback to them was your weapons are absolutely garbage. And I mean, the map looked interesting, and I liked the little jump pad stuff that they had, where you could like you could like take these weird like I don't know how to describe it, but it would be like a little small pad on the ground with like these cylinders that would go up, and you would jump in it, and it would like take you all the way up to on top of buildings and stuff. It was very vertical, which is different than your typical battle royales, but that was about it, man. I thought the gunplay was absolutely terrible, so I couldn't mess with it. But yeah, maybe that's right. Maybe the aim assist was kind of wonky, and maybe that's why. But I'm just like, I know I was hitting people, and they were just like laughing at all my bullets. I'm like, what gun is this? I can't use this gun. Let me pick up another gun. Same shit happening. I'm like, all right, you know what? Bump this game.
We call that the confetti cannon effect.
Right. Shooting
That's too
BBs,
funny.
man.
Right. Yeah, gentlemen, I did want to get to Battlefield 2042, but it's almost 11 o'clock, and I got to get up really early tomorrow. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to table Battlefield 2042, talk about it next week, because as you know, the open beta is actually this weekend too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, Forte, you going to be in the open beta or no?
Yeah, I'm already in it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we gotta meet up, guys, and see if we can get some games in.
Oh yeah, I mean, like with 128 players, we should be able to get this in. We should
Yeah,
be able
we
to get this entire podcast.
Yeah.
and a bunch of people in the chat in the game too, right?
Exactly. Yeah, like I'm playing it on PS5 right now, but I'll have it on PC because I have EA Play and obviously Game Pass Ultimate. I have it, so I'll have it on all platforms. So whatever you guys want to play, let me know. I'll hop on either platform. I'm a little nervous about console or PC per se with my 2070.
Found out greatest platform ever made.
What's that?
Greatest platform ever made, the PC.
It is Forte.
Facts.
You're a wise man. So,
Oh,
but yeah,
well, the one thing I will say is, and I want to give people a heads up with Battlefield. The one thing I noticed playing one day before I came to work this morning is people do not either not know how to read their radar or they just refuse to read it, because I just gotten into some engagements that I felt like, yo, there is no way you didn't know I was here. I got some of the most stupidest kills because people ain't paying attention to their surroundings. So I need you guys to like really learn how to read your radar. And I saw the same thing in Halo too. Halo is even funnier in big team battle because you're showing a radar for every freaking thing. So the one thing that these betas have taught me in a lot of games in the past, and it just really comes to fruition now, is people don't read their radar. And if you want to be better at these games, literally look at your radar. It tells you every freaking thing. And
that's a great point.
That's because most people aren't even playing the game for what it is. Everybody just want to shoot somebody.
That's true, B.
That's
true, man.
Hey, B, that's like when you go to the court to play, and all the shorties out there want to shoot 3-pointers, thinking they Steph Curry. You just go down low, body the asses out the way, move.
7'3", and you at the top of the key shooting threes. Get your big goofy ass down there in the paint and post up.
Exactly, Slow.
Air balls and bricks. You ain't got no shot whatsoever. You
my bad. I hit the next one. I hit the next one.
That's too funny.
Leaving it at that goes, like I said, that goes back to the last thing that Slomo said about, people being frustrated about TTKs and stuff. Because most of those people that are like frustrated with TTK and everything like that, those are the people that just run around with their heads cut off and don't pay attention to nothing. Because if you ain't paying attention, you're going to die from the most dumbest things, people that you probably would have seen if you just looked up to the left.
Yeah. No, I hear
it's
you.
a lack of situational awareness. That's it.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. Well, look, I want to give a big shout out to Leviathan Gamer. It looks like he had to leave. So really appreciate you coming through, Leviathan. Thank you so much, man. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Doc, Gamer MD. First time here on BRAP, sir. Thank you, man. Pleasure having you on. And always enjoy your spaces. Let everyone know where they can find you, man.
Yeah, for sure. We actually have a spaces tomorrow morning around 9. It's going to be a little bit on the heavy side because we're going to be talking about sexism, sexual harassment in kind of the gaming universe. It'll be on Twitter at 9 Central Standard Time. So if you follow me, it's really easy to find it because it'll be posted up.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, again, Doc, we got to get you back on again on BRAP, man. Great having you on. So thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
100%. I appreciate the invitation. I had a great time.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Open door, man. Anytime. Then we got my man, E.C. Jackson. Dude, great to have you back, man. We missed you. Let everyone can find you, sir.
Missed you guys, too. And, yeah, good to be back. But, yeah, you can find me Twitter, E.C. Jackson with an X. And also on the Gaming Perspective podcast, Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock.
Awesome, man. Then we got Gaming Forte, or I forget what your tag now on Twitter is. It's like something I forget, man.
Flawless Forte.
Flawless Forte. Yes, we have Flawless Forte in the house.
My
Forte
man, Forte.
working hard at work right now. Forte, man. Let everyone that can find you, man.
Oh man, sorry I couldn't be here earlier, man. It's been kind of crazy. But, hey, I'll put it like this: Far Cry gonna sell really well if my store has anything to say about it. There's a lot of people here. I didn't expect this game to do as good as it did today for a midnight launch or early launch, but
wow.
it was a lot of people, bro. Probably I had like 70 people here picking that game up today, so it was.
How many
Wow.
people? You say 70?
I had 70 people here at 9 o'clock to pick that game up today.
Wow.
That Giancarlo effect, man.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
might
say
be,
that.
bro.
Might
It
be.
might be.
Yeah, hey, that might be their new move. They get a charismatic, big name, well known actor to be the protagonist. I'm sorry, the antagonist of all of their Far Cry games, and that will kind of cover up the fact that they haven't done anything new with the franchise since Far Cry 3.
Hey, that was legit. That was legit. One of the reviews today, they said it doesn't do anything to change the formula new, but the performances are great, and that's what does it.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, but outside of that, man, y'all, I was listening to y'all the whole time. So great show, and
Thank you, man.
Shout out to the guest Leviathan and Gamer and everything. You guys are amazing. And DBS podcast next week this week actually tomorrow
Tomorrow.
on Slow Mo
Went
channel.
from next week, this week, tomorrow.
Man, listen. Listen, I don't know where the heck I am right now. I'm sleepy. But yeah, check us out tomorrow and check out my channel, Gaming Forte. And you guys have a great week.
You too, man.
You too, Forte. And then we got B Money 101. B, you dropping some interesting nuggets, I think, today, man. Let everyone know they can find you.
I ain't say nothing. So you can find me everywhere. Same name, B Money 101, and you can find me on the Battlefield 2042 beta. The rest of the week, man. That's where I'll be at. So hit me up.
No doubt.
Who
man, no doubt.
Microsoft buying B?
Said what?
Who Microsoft buying next?
Sony.
I don't know, man.
Liar. Lies. No, it's cool. Just tell us off air, man. You know.
Just let us know to you. Yeah. Nah, it'd be always a pleasure, man. And last but not least, we got Slow-Mo Backslap, the man who took out a whole squad on Big Team Battle.
It just keeps getting exaggerated further. Next time it's gonna be like he took out a whole squad and then got extra kills on his docket for like the next game too. It's just like none of that stuff happens.
That's how legends happen, man.
Exactly, it's how legends start. Because it's so funny, Slow-Mo, because you were like, "Oh, they're coming." They're like, we were all like, "All right, we got to go to C now. We got to go to C." We get there, like, "Nah, I got it. It's good." We're like, "Oh, okay." But let everyone they can find you, Slow-Mo.
It's just three guys, man. All right, look, no, you guys can find me on my channel, Slow-Mo Backslap, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, for Damage Per Second podcast. That's DPS podcast with my homie Gaming Forte. We're going to talk about, hopefully, more extensive talks about Battlefield 2042, as well as our experiences with Halo Infinite, and a host of other things that's been going on in the gaming industry this past week. So yeah, come check us out, and we appreciate all the support.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, always a pleasure. And big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening. Appreciate the support and the super chats as always. Please hit that like button. If you're new, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're alerted when we go live. And we'll catch you next week at Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you again so much. We are out. Everyone, if you're on Battlefield 2042, enjoy it. Look me up on the Twitters, BRAP_podcast. We'll catch you next week. We're out. Peace.